Hang on one sec. All right, you ready? One, two. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast, the only podcast you didn't know you needed. I'm looking at my boys, Josh and Brent, and I say to them both, guess who just got back today? Them wild eyed boys that have been away, haven't changed, had much to say, but man, I still think them cats are crazy. Say hello, Josh.
Yeah, it's not my name.
Say hello,
Is that Duke?
Sirloin.
It's Turd Ferguson. That's my name.
We're back.
You get a hat like
The
that.
hats. The
You
hats.
wear a hat like that, you get a free bowl of soup with it. It looks good on you, though.
It's bigger than most hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like the water buffalo hat.
Yeah, it from this angle it does.
I'll take 8 tit for 200.
The penis, my dear.
The sound a dog makes. Oh, rough. Just the way your mother likes it, Trebek. All right, whatever.
Good.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've had that hat sitting here for a while just to use it.
Been waiting a long time. Well, here we are. We're back. Brent, what's going on, buddy? It's been a while. We haven't seen each other, haven't talked to each other, haven't been around, been busy doing other podcasts and stuff.
It's been
Josh
nice.
has been traveling. You've been doing what?
It's been nice. I'm picking my nose.
Fair enough.
Getting older is what I've been getting.
I understand that too.
But no.
I know it's been a while. It's been a while.
I know. And I was so excited when you announced the time. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get there. And feels good. Feels real good.
Yeah.
We're gonna kiss tomorrow night, so we're all gonna be Cincinnati tomorrow night together. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's just like it's gonna be too much too soon, and 2 days in a row seeing, talking
Yeah.
to you guys.
Are you staying the night, or are you going back home, Josh?
I'm gonna go back home. I got a fleet of people with me, so
Okay.
that need to be back. So, a Red Bull, some yayo, we'll be all right.
I'm driving back to Nashville after the show. So
I'm just driving back a half hour to my house.
I'll probably be on the phone to Josh, trying to keep him awake while he keeps me awake. Talking about how great the Kiss show was.
There we go. What'd you get in the mail today there, Sunshine?
Oh, hold on. I got this is gonna be tricky because my background, but I did get this
turn
little
turn your background off.
Yeah, look at that. It looks perfect. Looks perfect.
I did not expect this. I've seen on the page other people are having struggles or not getting it when they thought they were going to get it. But this thing is glorious, man. This is beautiful. I will say I won't talk too much about it because
we're going to do people. Well, first of all, yeah, we're going to let people watch it for themselves, but we are going to have a big episode on all of this.
But I'll say this. It's glorious. It is. I got the Blu-ray. It is stunningly beautiful to watch, and I watched probably. I got up to Sentimental Street, so I got 5 songs in.
So all the naysayers on I'm not buying the Blu-ray, I'm just going to keep the DVD. What would you say to them?
Well, I haven't seen the DVD to compare. What I'm saying is the production of it. Because remember, we had talked a while back about how the sound quality, we were concerned about it. Because when we were there live, the sound wasn't that great. And Josh had told us, just wait. They had mics everywhere. And man, it's fantastic. Yeah. It is glorious to listen to. But as far as the DVD, Brent, I don't have any knowledge on that.
The correct answer would have been to say, get the Blu-ray, folks. Because again, I beat this in the heads of all you people. Once this Blu-ray is sold out, meaning out of the warehouse, it's gone. They're not going to press it again. It's out of print. They do one pressing, and it's done.
Yeah.
So that's why when you look up 35 Years in a Night in Chicago, you see it for $125 on eBay because it's done.
Yeah, I mean, I think, too, it all depends on what you're listen, if you're the type of person that, likes to have the 65-inch TV and the high quality DVD, Blu-ray player, then yeah, but if, hey, I'm never home. I got a
right. If you can
38
watch it on your computer, big deal.
8-inch, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, it's just like those, the rock candy remasters where people, well, I don't hear a difference. Well, you know what? You're fucking playing, you're playing it on your, your Sony. If your speakers are attached to the player, yeah, you're not going to fucking hear a difference.
Josh,
so,
you said in a post after I'd already heard it, I've heard things I never heard before. When I heard Rumors in the Air, I heard a little guitar thing going on in the background. I had never heard that in my life.
I tell people, if you sit there and you try, just sit in front of anyways, I guess we're talking about the 40th anniversary or not the rock candy remasters of Dawn Patrol and Midnight Madness. And if you sit there and try to listen, like, you're probably going to hear stuff that you never heard before, but maybe that was there because you're sitting there. So what I've done is I just put it on, and while I'm doing stuff around the house, you kind of forget about it. But then all of a sudden, you'll hear something like, whoa, I've never heard that before. And you shouldn't get that when you're listening to a record that you've listened to for 40 years.
Right.
And there's a few of them. I don't want to go too much into it because I want to do an episode on it. But I can tell you, like, the let's say that the beginning of You Can Still Rock in America. Dun 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 dun, that, where they do that dun. You always hear like just the bass or maybe the guitar right on top of each other. For the first time I heard Jack's bass slide. Just dun, and I was like, all right, that's really standing out. And if you're want to really hear Jack's bass playing, which is always buried in most of the mixes, you're going to be happy. The drums they sound great, and even Fitz's parts. There's a couple parts where I'm hearing, something Fitz is doing. I'm like, whoa, I don't think I've heard that, quite that way. And so, like I said, we'll do an episode on that, but definitely go. And the booklet was good. A lot of interesting stuff in there. If you're a listener to the podcast, you probably knew it all because,
because we're the
number
one
experts. So,
well, anyway, again, not going too deep into it, but it sounds fantastic, and I do have the Blu-ray, and it looks awesome on my 70-inch TV, and I actually had to stop it to come record because you guys had set the record time, and I'm like, I'm watching something, and then I looked at my watch and realized that you guys were waiting on me. I'm like, shit. Well, but I will say I was on the phone to England. I was talking to Greenaway because he was like, hey, am I in it? And I saw Josh, I seen Janice, I've seen Robin, I saw Orion, and I saw Mark. I did not see me or Brent. But there's still time. I'm only 5 songs in.
How about Brad Gillis?
I saw the master himself, Brad Gillis. I know we're not going too deep in, but I like the interviews in the beginning. Very cool.
Yep.
It's cool.
That was like this, because remember I saw the first edit of it, right? And and then I saw the second edit, which was even better. That's when I was like, listen, you guys are going to enjoy this. But I don't know that I've whoever's remembers like the interviews at the very beginning were very cool. Like I did get to watch some of those, like where I think like Brad's up on the balcony or something like that. Something, it's been a while, but
it's just it's for the fans. It's fantastic.
It was really cool. So the album, we're recording this Wednesday. This will be released Thursday. The album is officially released on Friday. So, so there you go. It's going to be out. I don't really know how many different versions there are going to be. As far as I know, you have the standard CD DVD package. And you have the black vinyl edition. And as far as I know, that red vinyl was limited to so many copies, and it was all sold on TalkShopLive.
Really?
Yep. So there
and sold out, didn't it?
Yep.
Oh.
So as to the knowledge I have, there are no more red copies. Like I figured, well, there'll be red copies available, just not autographed, right? No. So I have no idea about the Brad Gillis, the Bubba, red and black Strat. I don't, there's that artwork with it. The only thing I think maybe I've kind of seen is maybe the Japanese CD may have that, but all it was is where you could order the Japanese CD and it showed that picture.
Mm-hmm.
And it, so who knows? I mean, they could just put that, picture up just because it's out there, because they don't know what, the actual cover is. Because some of the other Japanese sites didn't have that. So they kind of contradict each other. So I don't know if that's going to be a version out there or not. So yeah, so it looks like you're going to have the standard
Les Paul.
black vinyl Les Paul and on CD and on vinyl. Now, one thing I did notice is I ordered the vinyl and then I ordered another copy. And for some reason, one's coming from Amazon, it's coming on Monday, one's coming on Friday. And if you look at it, one has more stars than the other on the cover. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but do you see the stars above the logo?
Yeah.
All right.
Because here's mine.
And do you see this one? Yeah.
It looks very vague in the star department.
I would say that one matches that one.
Yours, other one was really a lot.
So where are they from? Where are those two from?
So this is Amazon. All right. Okay. But if I clicked on this to go to that, it's the vinyl. And when you get to that page, it no longer shows that picture. That picture is only in my order section.
Okay. Well, I'm going to my order section now, which mine vinyl, even though it's been pre-ordered forever, I got an update that it won't be delivered till December.
Yeah. I don't know. When Brent sent me that, I was like, December? Where the hell's it coming from?
My others are supposed to be here Monday. My Blu-ray and CD, DVD.
I don't know how. I mean, Josh, do you know? I ordered mine direct from Frontiers. Maybe is that why mine came?
I know people. Listen, I ordered one copy each from Frontiers, and I know people have gotten theirs. I know people in Europe have already gotten theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten your Blu-ray. I ordered a Blu-ray CD. DVD.
Chapin didn't get his.
I haven't even got a shipping notice. Now I don't know if they've sent out shipping notices or not, email wise, but
Frontiers did to me.
So see, I haven't gotten anything. Now I pre-ordered.
Did you click at the end pay?
I got the receipt, from.
So you did pay for it.
I can't see shit there.
Yeah, I got all the stars too on my order.
All right,
pre-order.
that's all we need.
It just may be the artwork, right? I don't think it's.
Yeah.
It's these stars. I mean, it's the same as this picture. I just don't have the logo on it.
I don't think like that's going to be their variant. What do we make different?
Right.
The fucking stars, man.
Yeah, no one would pay attention to that except for Josh and Brent.
Yeah. Well, when it's a picture that small, when I'm looking at the orders, and those stars are then all together in the picture, it's like, why is there so much white above the logo? And so
I got you.
The only thing I like. What the fuck, and like when I'm showing you this picture, I'm actually increasing it. So here's just what it looks like. From there, you don't see a difference. Now, if you're just sitting there with it, you're like, wait a second, what's all these white dots above the one? It looks like one cover has like lice. So
now, Josh, my CD in my pre-order is like the album. It's got all the stars on it.
I don't know. You know, it's amazing any of us
But
ever
the
got
Blu-ray
laid.
doesn't. The Blu-ray doesn't.
Hey, what'd you guys do? Well, we talked about there's fucking stars on some of the CD covers, and there's stars not on the other ones.
And the girl's like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm getting turned on. Keep talking.
Nobody else is talking about it.
Yeah, my fucking nips just got hard.
Do we know of any other colors? Is nightranger.com going to have an exclusive? Do we know?
Nope.
So red and black's it.
Black is it. And, maybe 1,000 units of red that went all to Talk Shop.
That's nice. Good for those that got it. I did not order one of those. So.
What I will say for the people who need it on Talk Shop, they're shipping later. I was on this morning and they were available again, and it was in 5 minutes later they were gone. So as credit cards get processed, don't get processed. You know what I mean? People might even go ahead and order it off Amazon if they can get it off Amazon or somewhere else, because it's not going to ship that quickly. And they might cancel their order, not not listening to the wise knowledge that Josh has brought to us. Because I didn't know. And so I've got one. That's great.
For those that don't know, there's online site TalkShopLive. It's all right. I like the concept behind it. I don't think their website's too friendly. But anyways, they had an interview with Jack Tuesday night, where he talked about the whole orchestra experience. Had some really good words for Eric Levy. Basically said Eric Levy was the bridge between Night Ranger and the orchestra. Eric Levy, keyboard player for Night Ranger, friend of the page.
Friend of the show.
So there you go. So Eric Levy, who joined the Fans in Motion group after the orchestra performance at the Blue Oyster.
Leaking Lizard.
Yeah. That was a night still talked about by those that remember it.
Hey, and I saw a picture on the page today of that night.
I'm looking forward to everybody getting their DVDs and seeing the posts start pouring in. I can't wait.
Yeah. So there you go. Like I said, we'll dig more into the record and everything once everybody's got it and can experience. And like I said, we may get old Night Ranger tour manager Ed Repepe on the podcast and let him share some of his experiences with everything, because it's not really mentioned a lot on the commercial aspect of it, but that orchestra show was the second annual Danny Repepe Memorial Show, and really all this was spearheaded by Night Ranger tour manager Ed Repepe. So the forgotten man in all of this. So if you are out there listening and this is on a Thursday, if you get in your car and do not do the speed limit and you fucking pedal to the metal, you can go see them in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, which is just phenomenal this time of year, or any time of year, really. And tickets are half off, 50% off if you use the code NRCR, Night Ranger Cedar Rapids. So there you go. Also playing Kansas City, Missouri, and Arkansas. They finally got an Arkansas day. That was one state there's a list of states in my head like Night Rangers never played while I've been associated with them, and it's like, ooh, an Arkansas day. That's one to check off. It's like, the deep South states. You're not going to get Mississippi, Alabama. Maine will be interesting. For some reason, they've hit North Dakota. A lot, but the Idahos, they've got the Montanas. It's just they got a Louisiana show coming up, so that'll be knocked out. Really, I just think you gotta just come on to Alabama and Mississippi. It's get Night Ranger first, literacy second. I
thought about going over to that Little Rock show because it's close enough, but I got another show I'm thinking about going to. So
Night Rangers is making up the last of the shows that they had to cancel in March when Jack had his heart issues. So 25th, 26th, 27th are the makeup shows: Anaheim, California, Ivins, Utah, and State Line, Nevada. November 4th is that Louisiana show. And a couple dates in Washington, Tacoma, Ferndale, 17th and 18th of November. A date in Georgia. Everybody is always Atlanta. Well, sorry, you got Evans, Georgia, December 1st. St. Augustine, Florida, with Brett Michaels. Old Andrew Parker might be at that one.
Yeah, working on that one right now.
And then you got a Minnesota date and a Sioux Falls in the middle of December. And then you get into 2024, man. Already 2024.
Yeah,
man, we are going to be taking dirt naps soon. Effingham, Illinois, Wisconsin Dells. There's a show in Rancho Mirage, California, February 2nd. The Vegas shows with Stephen Piercy, the 15th and 16th. You guys going to that? I keep thinking about going. I need to just.
When is it?
February 16th and 15th and 16th at the Strat.
I'd like to make one of those. I'm gonna have to talk to my my better half and see if we can work that out. A weekend getaway.
Yeah, there you
Romantic
go.
Valentine's Day, Vegas.
Yeah.
Elvis wedding, chapel gate. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
They kiss the bride and do other things to her.
Go out the back door of the Strat, walk about 100 yards, and you'll be right there at the Pawn Stars pawn shop.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's right behind the Strat. If you go out, if you watch the episode, and you like when they're outside looking at cars, sometimes you'll see the stratosphere when they pan around and stuff. So yeah, it's like I said, I was out there like when the show just started, like maybe 5, 6, 7 episodes in, and we were taking a cab and went right past the Strat, and then out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, I think that's that show, that pawn shop that's on that new show. And
yeah,
because me and my buddy, both history buffs, were like, that we could have done that. And I was like, no, we would have just bought everything from people and never sold it.
And they kept it.
Yeah, like that's fucking cool as fuck. I got a guitar signed by Led Zeppelin, like we'd be in business for a month. There's a Tiffin, Ohio date, April 13th. A lot of people don't know about. It's actually close to selling out, so get on it, folks. And there's some like Rocktoberfest, or like whatever, Rock Island Fest in January, and shit like that. But then the makeup date for Jackson, Michigan, which was canceled, which was not, it was not band wise. It was, circumstances with the promoter or the venue or something like that. That's the rescheduled date of May 25th, which will lead us into, we haven't done an episode in a while, so that show on Friday in Jackson was canceled. The Night Ranger had a private show on Saturday. Well, I was supposed to have my kiddo that weekend, so I wasn't planning on going to the shows. Well, it turns out his mom was sick the weekend prior, that she was supposed to have him, so I took him one night, and then the next day she was still sick. Like, well, I'll just keep him again. And the next day, she's still sick. She's like, at this point, why don't we just switch weekends? I'm like, all right. So a day or so later, texted Ed like, hey, I'm actually free next weekend. You need help in Jackson? He's like, actually, I do. So I went up and drove up like Thursday night, right? Yeah. Brad came in early, so just drove from Columbus and straight up to Detroit and picked up Brad and bullshit with him till we got to the hotel. The next day I spent some time picked up Kelly, a couple of the crew guys, and the morning of I had lunch with Ed at a little family restaurant, and the next morning me and Jack did some antique shopping, and so what it was is there's a company in Jackson, Michigan called Bailey Excavating, and they're celebrating 50 years. And so they put on at one of their properties, which is a huge property. They put on 2 nights for all their employees and people of the community come out, and they had monster trucks there. They had a whole area full of like stuff for kids to do, bounce houses and stuff like that. They had fishing. There's a big pond there. And it was, property of the owner, but, he had this huge property, every property in Michigan out in the country is huge. And they had a stage just like you would see at any, outdoor rock festival. And the night before, Little Texas was there, big 90s.
Oh, nice.
And then Night Ranger was there. There's the Bailey's Excavating. Okay. So I didn't know what to, I was, I didn't know what to expect, but anyways, it was very cool. They had an air show that same weekend. So some of the people have seen the pictures, I think, of maybe Jack and Brad. They took a ride in a Huey helicopter, and so the 3 of us went over there, and and with John Bailey and the rest of the group, and they were like, are you going on? I'm like, I did my helicopter rides in Iraq. I'm done. I ain't doing that shit. So I just filmed them taking off. We got some great pictures in front of some vintage World War II planes, which I don't know is out there yet. I know Jack, we posted some. I don't know if it was from the plane or from that Civil War reenactments. So I know, Jack posted some of those, and what
about the Trans Am?
Yeah, so there's a Trans Am in John's garage.
Oh, it's just like
had it. Yeah, so it's just
I was on the phone with Josh, and he's telling me about this car.
So so John's father started the business, and then John had it forever. Now his 2 sons run the business. I think that's how it goes, and so they got this nice garage, and there's Smoking the Bandit Trans Am 1978, right? Maybe 1979. In there, 29 miles. That's it. It's still got like the paperwork on the windshield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still got everything like it would come like if you were on the lot. They basically have driven it from the lot to that garage.
Do you recall, Josh, the price of it?
I got a picture of it. $9,000.
Oh,
yeah.
That's everything, because it breaks it down 8,000,
yeah.
And then these options so much, and then the tax. It's all there. I took a picture of it. Yeah, still has like the new car smell, and what I think happened, kind of like hearing some of the story out of the corner, side of my ear and everything, was I think they had to spend some money on something, right, back in 1978, tax wise, right?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know, but it makes sense. We got to spend money on something, so they bought 4 of them, right?
Company cars,
and over the years they sold, probably sold or drove, and that's the one that's still there. So yes, it was very.
That thing's probably worth a fortune.
I would, probably, $250,000, probably at least.
Probably just because the low mileage has never been driven.
It's a high demand car. It's an American car.
It's a badass car.
It's an iconic car.
Correct. It's the Smoking the Bandit car. 29 miles. It's like,
that's amazing.
You're never, it's not like you're restoring it or anything like that. There are very, very, you probably could count on someone's hand how many dealership quality, 79 Trans Ams are.
Right.
But what was interesting too is, so this is the garage, and it's nice garage. There's an upper level to the garage, and they've got like a little, it's not little, but it's got like, like a bar hangout area, right? It's real nice. It's got a pool table, a bar, TVs, a bathroom. Anyways, that's what Night Ranger used as a dressing room. So I was up there, and the family was into racing and stuff. So there's a lot of racing memorabilia up. Now I was really into NASCAR right before it really took off. I got into it right before it really took off, and then when it was taking off. So like 88 to then it started really taking off in the early 90s. So I was into like 88 to maybe like 95. So I know all the old, well, not too old, but those drivers from 30 some years ago. And looking at all, oh shit, I haven't seen this, this driver, Ricky Rudd forever. Blah. And there's just by itself in the middle of this was a picture of a driver named JD McDuffie. And JD McDuffie was one of the last independents when it come to racing. At that time, you had Junior Johnson Racing, and you had a couple cars, and you had all these, the Wood, all these groups. And Junior Johnson or JD McDuffie was like the last guy. I own the car and I drive it type deal, right? Never had much money. Like, Richard Childress would give him tires, who owned Dale Earnhardt's car. We'll give you, here you go. Give you some tires. He was, old timer on the circuit. And I remember I was watching the race one Sunday. It was at Watkins Glen, which is an outdoor course. So it's not like the oval. It's, fun to watch because it's, going everywhere, right? And there was a wreck in one of the corners or whatever. And there's a car, hits the barricade, goes up in the air. Another car slides underneath it, right? And anyways, that wreck involved JD McDuffie, and he died in that wreck. And I just remember being like 12 years old, like, holy shit, that was the first death I'd seen watching a race. And at that time, that was probably one of the first deaths in racing in a long time. Now, after that, you started getting a lot more. You had, Denny Hamlin, and you had Adam Petty, and you had Neil Bonnet. A lot of these guys were racing these new tracks, and they were just way too fast, and they were getting killed. And eventually, obviously, you get Dale Earnhardt in 2001. But anyways, I see this picture of JD McDuffie. I'm like, wow, that's just weird. And I'd seen some pictures of John, like in the early 80s, where he was at some of these tracks. So I just went up to John when, downstairs, and, the band's there and everybody's getting pictures. I just mentioned to John, like, hey, I was upstairs. Did you know JD McDuffie? And he just kind of like lit up. He's like, I lived with him for 2 years, and started telling me all these stories. And, we go upstairs where Night Ranger's dressing room was. And I guess at this time, Night Ranger was still up there, because he's like, can we go up there? I was like, John, you own the building, buddy. You can do what you want. So we go up there, and band's getting ready. And he takes me to this whole display that I didn't see of JD McDuffie stuff. And, he's, just surprised that I knew who he was. And, I always thought it was just an interesting guy. And now I'm he points out the window. This property was huge. I only got to go to one side of it. He points to the side I wasn't at. I go, you look out there. If you look out there, you can see Old Blue and a couple of his racing cars. Old Blue was this big old fucking truck he used to haul his one race car around, right? And they'd always show it on the camera. Here's Old Blue coming in. So it was there. I'm like, holy fucking shit. So, and they have like this coin, like a lot of times military uses, where he gave to me, and it had Bailey Fest, and you can see like, there's the bomber that they did, they brought in for, there's kind of like Seven Wishes and the Civil War stuff. That's his car. That's JD McDuffie's car. Like I said, him and John were best friends, and you can see motoring. Yeah. So they tied the Night Ranger in. And even his wife kind of came up to me. She's like, thank you for bringing up JD. She's like, he thinks like the world's forgotten about him and everything else. And so me and John still text. He'll send me photos of, back then he finds of him and JD. And I took a lot of pictures of him and his family with Night Ranger, and I sent them. And so it was really cool. Like, for a private show, like I'm sure there's private shows that, aren't like this, right?
Right.
But it was a really cool experience. I'm glad I lucked out to go. And there was an opening band that was like members from like had played with Rare Earth, which if you don't know Rare Earth, they go out and find him. Big Kelly Kagi inspiration, singing drummer. Kelly was a big Rare Earth fan. The only rock act on Motown Records back in the day. But they opened. I'm like walking on the back 40 and I hear Rare Earth. I'm like, from what I thought was just a cover band, and I'm like, what the fuck, like Rare Earth. And
did you just want to celebrate?
I fucking did, man.
Is that them? I
Yeah.
couldn't even pull a song up. I was like, I don't know who the hell they are.
But it was a good time, and the Night Ranger guys had a really good time. It was just, so you'll see there's a couple people from that Bailey's Excavating that are on the page. Phil, I think his name is, just posted like a little collage he built with like the drumsticks and
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that
I
today.
think like the program or something like that, which right there.
Funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to show that today.
So that's what that was. Here you can actually see the property, like the map and everything.
Got a map to his property, Jesus.
So it was a really good time. It's it's one of those things that's like, yeah. So there's the drumsticks and the Bailey Fest, a couple guitar picks. There's that right there, kind of sitting like that. So it was a really good time. I'm pretty sure I met Phil.
Is it Bissonette or Bissonnet?
Whatever he wants it to be. Whichever one he chooses, he's pronouncing it wrong. But really cool time. Like I said, it stinks that people had gone to Jackson and the show was canceled, and I'm sure everyone would be like, hey, go to this private show, but it's a private show, it's, they paid for it, and it's whoever they want to go there. But really good time. So there you go. If you're in Jackson and you need something excavated, there you go. Call
use those guys because they're motoring.
They are. Got a few things. Speaking of Greenaway, he brought us gifts when he was at the show, and this I think I put on behind me to show, and it slipped behind my speaker. And when I was going through stuff and cleaning, I found it. I don't know if I ever showed this, because he brought you guys stuff. Do you even remember what he brought you?
Yeah,
you guys don't. Fuck.
He brought me.
You guys are so ungracious.
He brought me a 7 Wishes VHS cassette of the 7 Wishes tour, which was he told me it was all of his prized possession. He probably told you guys all the same thing. So.
Yeah, he fucking gave me the same thing.
Yeah,
he says the only one he had.
Son of a bitch. Damn British.
Yeah, trust him.
If Brent pulls one out too, I'll like, you mother.
He's like, it was either this or dental work.
Yeah,
I mean, bastard.
And they all choose the VHS, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what? Fucking Mark sent me a message a couple days ago. I never got back to him.
Yeah, he told me that today. He did. I swear to God, he said, because I said we're gonna record. He goes, that damn Josh, because I sent him a message. He doesn't even respond to me. I was like, I said, Josh is kind of a dick.
Well, one, I get a lot of messages, because I'm a popular guy. And two, you always kind of want to respond properly. Now, if it's a short message, hey, I love the podcast or whatever, I'm like, hey, dude, thanks for listening. That's easy. But he sends stuff a little heartfelt.
It's never that nice.
It's got some paragraphs. A
lot for you to read.
A couple pictures. I'm like, well, I can't just go thumbs up, right?
Gotcha.
So it's like I'll get it, when I'm not working or something, right? And then TalkShopLive. It's been a busy last couple of days. We had TalkShopLive, and then Luminaire Christmas, which we're going to be at Belterra, which is kind of like a theater version of TSO. Night Ranger Sound Man is doing that, and I said, hey, I'll help you with the socials this year to help you, get going. And so they've got a few dates. Belterra is going to be one. I think they're some Wisconsin dates. John from Mannheim Steamroller, he's the keyboard player. What the hell is his first name? Lang. From no. Brad Lang from Bullet Boys, used to be in Y&T. He's a bass player. So anyways, a couple shows just went on sale for that. So anyways, Mark, you're on the radar, but Anyways, here is what I got. Look at this. The Japanese.
Hold on, it's still glossy. Tilt it a little bit. No,
forward.
There you go.
There we go. The Japanese. I did it for love. Now I do have this, but I don't have one from Mark.
So that went from Japan to England to Ohio,
and then to the thrift store,
and then off to Pawn Stars.
Now you can't go wrong with that. And then we got the
I'd say the much maligned "I Did It for Love." Most people do not care for that song off that album. I disagree with them.
I like it.
I love that song.
So there you go. I don't, like I said, I don't remember if I showed it or not, but if I did, I don't care. There it is again. So thank you, Mark Greenaway, co-host of the third Beth. And how's that going, by the way? You got a few episodes?
You dropped out there. I don't know what you said.
Yeah, you totally dropped out.
I think I hit the mic.
Third best and
third best Jason Bourne podcast out there. He's a host of. So you and Greenaway have a podcast out there. How's it going?
It's fun.
People are like worried because they're messaging me, right?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we love Fans of Motion and everything, but we're really dying to get the next episode of
bonding.
Some
hot James Bond talk.
Yeah, and
timely from 1962, 64.
I just want to join the episode where we talk about Octopussy.
We'll bring you on. We can bring you on.
Yeah, well, he thought it was X-rated. That's why he watched it.
I
thought there was going to be 8 of them.
Yeah. I was trying to think, how can I say that?
Well, it's 8 fingers.
Or Octomom.
Yes.
So and weather today, the weather has been nice.
But
I'm trying to
show some Night Ranger collectibles. I just pulled that out to where we're talking about the Blu-ray and the DVD and the quality and everything. Remember when this was gold? It still is.
Yeah, dude.
But we're so lucky to have this.
Mine still has the original cellophane on it.
It's awesome.
I was anal back then, even.
Yeah.
So
I still love watching that tour, man. That's so great. And again, we talk about the elusive. We would do anything to see a Big Life tour, but I love watching that Seven Wishes show, man. I have such vivid memories of that, of Jack's hand coming out of the lamp, and I was like, oh,
I wish whoever owns that would release it.
It was just so amazing.
Oh, I don't know. At one time, I think the lamp was in Jack's barn, and that may be gone now. I can't remember. I don't think Jack told me that. Yeah, maybe it was one of the Rangerettes or something. I don't know, but yeah.
I've said it before, Josh, and you can just run it by. I will take time. I'll fly myself out if he'll just let me go through his archives and.
Well, I think
see
I don't know if
there.
we talked about this before, but when I was trying to, when we were trying to narrow down the date of the 40th anniversary of the Dawn Patrol release, right?
Yes.
I texted the principals like, okay, do you guys remember the exact day it came out? Like, I'm hoping Kelly's like, oh, my Aunt Frida's birthday was on the 18th. And I remember it came out the next day. Something like that.
Just something, yeah.
And listen, like I said, these guys were rock stars in the 80s.
Kelly didn't remember a song from 1996.
Well, and
that they recorded.
And Jack was surprised when I told him Interstate Love Affair was on Seven Wishes record and not just the Teacher soundtrack. But anyways,
really? Oh, really?
It's like when I'm sending that text, I'm like, this is going to be interesting. So Jack and I start exchanging stuff, and he's going through stuff, and I can't remember what got me started on the story and where I was going with it.
I know where you're going with
my
it.
dick.
He had a box.
Yes. So, but I still don't remember like what got me to think of that. So he had a box.
Well, because I want to go through their archives.
Okay.
You were texting
So,
with
there we
Jack,
go.
and
So he's got a box from Boardwalk, and it's filled with Young Girl in Love singles.
Young Girls in Love.
And
Yes.
I'm like, no, that's going to be too late. That's the third single. And he's like, oh yeah, there's a date on here, like March of '83. And he sends me a picture of it. And I just told him, I go, listen, when you clean stuff out, you don't throw that box away. I go, I guarantee you there's someone, probably me, that might give you $100 for that cardboard box. Yeah, it says Boardwalk and everything on it. So yeah, it's like, and it's just something like, probably not much thought is given. And it's just
you would think he would have a box full of records with a sticker over top.
Well, how about this? I don't know if
it does not exist. I'm telling you.
I don't know if I've told you guys this one or not, if I have or not. But he found an acetate record, right? Now, acetate are records that are real hastily printed. Okay, I have one.
They're proofs, right?
Kind of. So what you would do back then is, okay, we're mixing the record. Let's print it, make a real quick copy, put it on the turntable, and see how it sounds.
And you can only play it a handful of times.
Correct. They'll deteriorate.
Yeah.
So I got one. And I don't think there's any different mixes. There's only 8 songs from Dawn Patrol on it. They're not in any particular order. They're like, like it could be Sing Me Away, then At Night She Sleeps, sure. Eddie's Coming Out Tonight, But there's nothing that stood out. Like the only song I thought maybe had something different was At Night She Sleeps. But he had one, and it had 3 songs on it, I think, written down. And it was from early 82. And I'm like, do you got a turntable there? No. I'm like,
you're like, I do. Send it to me.
I'm like, I'm almost ready to go dry. I'm like, I go, for a band that doesn't have a lot of rarities, I was like, you need to take care of that and see what's on there. So yeah, I may be putting some bananas in your tailpipe so you can't go.
Yeah. Hey man, you're gonna fall for them banana in my tailpipe.
And I can hear it. I can hear him. Like I can hear Kelly when Kelly said, "Oh, nobody cares about that stuff."
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, it's like there was a VH1 show 20 years ago, probably, where like the Hard Rock Cafe sends someone to like their houses to try to get stuff.
Yeah.
And Brian Johnson's like, well, he just goes in his closet and he picks out a notebook. He goes, well, I got some of this. And it's like lyrics to some of the Back in Black stuff and other stuff. And I'm like, well, fuck yeah. Then he kind of starts digging out more, and there's an old pair of shoes. He's like, what the fuck are these? And he starts thinking, he's like, I don't think, he's about ready to throw them like in a trash pile. And he's like, wait, I think I wore these in a video maybe for, for those about to rock. Is that, you guys want those? And they're like, yes, we want those.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, going back through a pile that he was just going to get rid of stuff. And they started going through that. Like, that's where the shoes were and everything. But
they're too close to it. That's why.
Yeah. I mean,
but I think like Gene Simmons does.
But yeah. So anyways, we are lucky to have that. But it's like I said, interesting now, can you imagine when this came out someday, Blu-ray and DVD or DVDs like already, kind of ancient, right? Like Blu-ray or DVDs, Blu-rays are really on their way out. They just got a big hit when Best Buy said next year's it.
Target's already announced they were months ago that they were going to trim it down. So, digital's what the wave.
Yeah. So I got this in the mail the other day. Look at that. Look at that.
Faces.
Pictures on the wall.
God. Faces magazine.
From March of 1989. So there's some Bon Jovi. Look, there's your boys.
I see our car.
What a glorious time to be alive, man.
Yes, celebrating 15 years of Kisstory. Def Leppard, Rock City Angels, Vixen, House of Lords, Metallica, and Danzig. And if you look, page 47, Band in Motion.
Oh, really?
So one of the few articles that you can find from the Man in Motion era, it's only really one page. They don't get much. But there you go.
That's nice, man. I like that.
You get they're soft rock, they're hard rock, they're two bands in one. They are Night Ranger, the San Francisco
treat.
So they talk about Sister Christian, and now with their latest LP, Man in Motion, the departure of Alan Fitzgerald. Night Ranger continues to cruise that fine line between what sells and what yells.
Wow, that's some writing.
Maybe it would have been more appropriate to call the album Band in Motion, draws guitarist Jeff Watson. Our last two albums were a bit soft, and now that's changed. The title was originally Mad Emotion. Fellow guitarist Brad Gillis explains both the album and the title song he co-wrote with lead singer Jack Blades. But Jack kept singing what sounded like Man in Motion. We decided we liked it and switched over. It feels comfortable. We are in motion, back out on the rock thing, doing the rock thing out on the road. Talks a little bit about the history there. Talks about soft songs coming out, and Big Life, mostly known for its pop title track. We have no say in the singles release schedule, sighs Watson, who, along with Gillis, recently starred in two separate guitar instruction starlets. We wanted Man in Motion to be the first one. The record company said no, but we talked to them and they were very reasonable and listened to us and agreed with our logic. And then the record company still said no. He laughs as you just can't win. The soft ballad "I Did It for That Love" debuted instead. Gillis suggests that MCA's choice is because we haven't been on the scene a while, which again is so different back then, right? Like you had an album in '87, still had a top 10 hit in early '86, a new record in '87, a big tour in '87, and then by
haven't been on the scene.
The fall of '88, we haven't been on the scene. Which is strange way of looking at things since Big Life went gold. But they didn't have a big single with it. I think they want to bring us back into people's minds slowly and softly for the first song or two. Talks about Fitz's exit, even though there are 6 keyboardists on the record. As Watson puts it, Fitzgerald left because he didn't want to go on the road anymore. He has 2 daughters from his current marriage and a 3rd child on the way. He's older than the rest of us, has been touring for 10 years with bands like Montrose and Sammy Hagar before Night Ranger came along. Talk about Morgan Fairchild being in the new video. Night Ranger, it seems, is a band of one paradox after another. Their current tour, for instance, hit not only big rock and roll spots like Hawaii and Japan, but also Guam. Guam? Somebody's got to play their Watson deadpans, and then last, we'll make sure to send postcards. So there you go. The band would be broken up a month later.
Yeah.
So what do you got from Fans in Motion there, Brent Tree?
Well, you want to do that now?
Sure.
Well, we already did one. We did Greg.
Hey, John. Speaking of John Bailey, he just sent me check out this old NASCAR stuff a friend gave me. So here's like the pants that they would wear driving.
Sure.
That's probably like Alan Kowicki, who won the cup and then was tragically killed in an airplane wreck. And then there's JD McDuffie, an old JD McDuffie clock. So
that's cool.
Anyways, just speak of the devil. But what we got there, Brent Tree? I see some Night Ranger records behind you. I see the lit clearance section. What else? See a couple Kiss records. See Mark St. John.
Up there.
Yeah.
It's autographed the day he died. So I didn't have his autograph. The day he died, I got on KissArmyWarehouse.com and bought it for $12. And I got it, and then right after that, they went up to like $100.
Yeah.
But I, had to have that. Got my Paul Stanley broken guitar from the Asylum tour in Cincinnati.
You sell that stuff, man.
Got Mary Courtney Laycock doing her Fans of Motion pumpkin.
Yeah, the pumpkin. She made a pumpkin. It had like all kinds of pictures on the outside of it, Night Ranger, and pictures of other FEM members from shows, and had a picture of me and Brent on there, I guess, to scare away the hooligans.
Yeah. But yeah, I was correct. She sent that to me this morning in a private message. I'm like, you got to post that on the page. She's like, you think? I'm like, yeah, people will dig that.
Yeah, she sent it to me. I was like, don't post it on the page. It's like, that's just more proof out there that I know Brent.
We have Brian Bliss posted his Party Graw.
Yeah, do I still got that around?
Yeah.
I need. When I saw that in Northern Kentucky when they played,
yeah,
I wanted to take one so bad.
I tried to swipe one for you guys, and they were numbered.
Yeah,
I know.
So, I didn't get one for you guys.
Ed gave me that look like, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But I asked him, like, can I get one? At least, like, I don't usually care about getting stuff, but they look so good. Like, I was like, can I get one?
Yeah.
And the one he gave me, where the fuck is it?
Didn't Jack sign it twice or something? Here. Somebody signed it twice.
So the one, so yeah, they're testing out Sharpies. So he gave me the one they tested out. It's got 4 Jack Blade signatures on.
Yeah, that's cool though.
So you can see there in black, gold, and
pencil.
All right. No, there's a silver one. There's a silver one kind of underneath one of the gold ones. So,
gotcha.
Anyways, yes, that was one thing, and they're numbered. So if you look, I got 251.
That's cool, man.
So yes, I tried to get you guys. Yeah. I even after the tour, I messaged him again, and they were all with whoever was shipping them out. So I tried for you.
That's all right. Ed Anderson. He got in the Wayback Machine and got
Rubicon. Rubicon, American Dreams, the second record by Rubicon, 1979. Yeah, so 2 Rubicon records out there you guys need to get.
Yeah.
The first one,
that's a great looking copy too. I mean, you can't tell on this picture, but
now that sticker, if that sticker doesn't come off, get some warm water, soak it, get like a dry cloth, and
I thought it was in the shrink wrap.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I just know there's
maybe not.
I've been buying some great records from this antique shop, but the motherfucker puts the price tags.
It's half price books
on the cover, and if you tear it off, it takes the print with it, and it's like
hair dryer, warm hair dryer.
Yeah, all right,
pretty good.
Guess who doesn't have a hair dryer?
This is this is riveting fucking conversation here.
Yeah. So
and I saved this one for last because this one, I think we were all excited for this person, Rita Garcia, going to her show over the weekend.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She's been on the page for such a long time.
She's a really great contributor to the show, the page.
And real happy for her.
Yeah.
So I think her kids got her those tickets or something. I can't, I don't know if it was on the page or, in a message, but I think, her daughter maybe got, was getting them tickets to a show and everything. And I don't know. I can't remember anymore.
Yeah.
But,
and she went with her parents and stuff, and thought that was really cool. So that's Fans of Motion. I kept it current. I had stuff from when we were planning other episodes. I'd get my shit ready, and then all of a sudden something would happen and we couldn't do it. So
yeah. So we may be back. You never know.
And before I wrap this up for me, I had a birthday, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to wish the third favorite pain in the ass, whatever you posted.
Well, listen, it was either. I mean, I'm pretty sure Robin ranks number 1, and Lisa's probably number 1. So we're like,
yeah,
we're like 3, 4, and 5. So giving you number 3, maybe that was a compliment. Maybe I was saying it's the girls, then Brent.
It's perspective, man.
Kind of a girl, and then Andrew and I.
In any event, I get a bootleg album sent to me from Josh.
Look at that turd.
Which is really cool.
Dude, Gene Simmons has been hunting my ass.
But what I was touched by, and I told Josh, he should have applied a Hallmark for the card. I receive a napkin that says "Kiss" on it, and then you open it up, and all it says, with the bleed through kiss, is "Happy birthday, fucker." So
spot on. That's spot on.
Actually, I don't know if it's a paper towel. It looks like now that I look at it.
Yeah, you're not napkin level yet.
No, it's not even. It's not even 2-ply.
No,
this is not even a quicker picker up.
I did make the extra effort to get the cheaper paper towels from the garage. Like, I'm not giving that fucker 2-ply, especially with.
Yeah, there's a sticker involved somewhere here too, but I walked upstairs Saturday.
Yeah, you got a Fans of Motion sticker.
But he sent me a Fans of Motion card, and Christina started laughing.
You should have signed it.
I'm like, what a fucking idiot. So I thank you. I thank you. Like I said,
that's on, and that record you can open. It's not sealed.
I did open it and looked at it. Because
he probably resealed it after he got it.
Yeah.
What I didn't like the fact that the flap was on the side, so I put it here.
I can't have that.
So,
yeah, he can't.
And he knows he noticed
anal.
it didn't go in the clearance section on the bottom
right
there. So
I did that just to make you feel good. When the camera's off.
Yeah,
it goes behind where Mark Greenway's package was.
Tomorrow. It's gonna be a big lawsuit from Kiss and Company.
I saw that today.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the dentist office, and I was like, "Oh, Gooch is going down."
Yeah. So, all right, Andrew, I guess take us out there, brother.
God, I forgot how we end these things. That's been a while. I know how to end my other shows. I don't remember how to end this one.
Do that.
Tune in next week for another adventure of Mark and I watching a James Bond movie.
Talking about how about Bond is. Join us next week. We tell you George Lazenby is the best Bond ever.
We're gonna do a deep dive on George Lazenby. To be honest with you. But yeah, check us out if you like us, if you still enjoy the show and the Fans in Motion page. Josh is the socials are really going well, right? We got the Instagram.
Yeah,
are we on Twitter X? What's it called anymore?
Yeah, who knows?
But check us out on Spotify and Apple. I just do it on Apple Podcasts. That's right. I listen to my podcast. And of course, YouTube. We want you to watch us on that. And like and subscribe and comment. One of us will eventually get back to you. Probably not Josh. He's a little too busy to comment and return messages.
I reply more than anybody.
If you want a limited edition thumbs up, Josh will give you one.
Dude, yeah. And if you send me a paragraph or more, just stand by. I will get to you.
Get in Josh's good graces, you'll get a fucker paper towel sent to you.
Oh, I don't know. That's
I got one of those too. I mean, I didn't.
You didn't get the fold, I don't think.
No, Josh just shoved it in his happy birthday fucker. I didn't get
and it's almost even. It's
because I can show you here. Hold on. So Josh sent me this, which is awesome. But he also sent me.
Is it open?
No.
You kept it sealed, huh?
Well, I don't have a record player.
No, I'm talking about him. I figured he opened it and played it, so I'm going to get something in my open copy.
But yeah, I mean, contrary is, I know Josh puts on this facade of how he's just this hard ass, but he's kind of a softy. He even sent. He also sent me a. My better half is a huge Pearl Jam Eddie Vedder fan, and by default, I am too. The Earthlings album, which is pretty cool because neither one of us had that, so she was pretty excited to see it. So
well, I figured I got to keep her happy to keep you on the podcast. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I totally on that topic. I met one of the Earthlings out in Texas. I bumped into Josh Klinghoffer, who was he replaced Frusciante in the Chili Peppers, and then he is in the Earthlings with Eddie Vedder, and he also is a touring member of Pearl Jam. That's been your Pearl Jam talk. This is called Release.
I'm already regretting getting that record.
That's all I'll mention of it. But yeah. Thanks, Josh. You are
yeah. All right.
You're a good man among common men, as they would say.
Well, I will do the work that they won't. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. You may or may not hear from us again. Who knows? We will keep you on your toes. Later. That's always what you need. The rhythm of love belongs to you.